What's up everyone, welcome to the next video from the Embo conversion. But first of all, I would really like to thank you for all of the positive response under the last video and all of the messages with questions on Instagram. I'm gonna try to answer some of those questions, but today we're gonna take care of the last big project in this Embo, which is gonna be the shower. And I have few small projects that I'm probably just gonna skip. I'm not gonna film them. We're gonna focus today on building the shower and connecting the water system and have a working shower and a working sink in this camper van. If you had a chance to watch the last video, you've probably seen that I've been working on the driver's cab. The seats are in, the new carpeting is in, the floor is painted, the rust was removed, and some people ask me on Instagram about this carpeting. This is just a simple carpet from Walmart. If you're gonna go to the aisle with carpets, you're gonna find them in different sizes. I believe this one was 6 by 8 or 4 by 6. It's one of those two. They're really cheap. I think it's like $19. I had it in my last camper van, and this also provides some heat and sound denting. It works like a sound denting material. So combined with the little spongy material that's under this flooring, honestly, it makes a big difference. I had a chance to drive this Embo a few times to Home Depot, and honestly, it's a big game changer. In the last video, I didn't really show you how the ceiling looked after finishing and putting all of the boards that we were missing. And honestly, I'm super proud of it, how it came out. I really like the look, and it makes the interior really nice and cozy. And please don't judge me about my mess. I had to take out everything from the shower so I can build it, so I just put it on the bed. But the ceiling looks great. Everything's finished, including all of the trim pieces around the wood stove. The wood stove is already hooked up. It has a chimney. So honestly, the camper van is pretty much done. The only thing that I'm missing right now is a water connection to the sink and a water connection to the shower, and also building the shower. Few videos back, there was a bunch of questions why I decided to build the shower over here between the kitchen and the driver's cab behind the driver's seat. The answer is simple. Right here, there was a cabinet with all of the electrical for the ambulance, and I removed that. If you want to see it, go back to the first video from this Embo conversion. You're going to see a big metal cabinet which was full of cables, full of electrical. The whole electrical panel was here and above here. So I removed it. I built a new separating wall between the driver's cab and the back of the camper van, and I decided to build the shower here because that cabinet goes deeper than the floor in the ambulance. And the shower is one of two spots in this camper van where I can actually stand. You can see that I have about maybe 2.5 inches above my head. After putting in the shower pan, that's probably gonna go down to like 1.5 inches, and that's enough for me to stand up and have a comfortable shower in here. As you can see, there's a lot of room. I'm 6 feet tall, and I'm not a small person. I'm pretty broad in my shoulders, but this shower is very spacious and really cozy too. So this is the project for today, to build this and get it done. The first step of building the shower is going to be waterproofing everything with RedGuard. I have a gallon of it, and I hope that I can do 2 coats on this shower, because I really don't want to buy another bucket, because this is $73 before tax. This is extremely expensive, but hopefully we're going to be able to put 2 coats in this shower. If you never used RedGuard in a small space, I highly recommend you getting yourself a respirator, because the chemical smell on the RedGuard is so strong that it's definitely gonna give you a big headache at the end of the day, and who knows what else after breathing that in. So it needs time to cure. Turn on your ventilator, open all the windows, and then start painting with it. Definitely at least with a mask or a respirator like this. The first coat of the red guard is drying out. It's been drying out for about 25 minutes. It's still, here it's kind of dry, but in some spots it's still tacky, and you can tell by the color. If it's still kind of bright pink, those are the spots that are wet, so you kind of have to wait until it's going to dry out, because when it dries it turns into that kind of darkish pink red color. So I'm gonna wait probably another 25 maybe to half an hour, and I'm gonna put the second coat. So it's been a little bit over an hour since I put it the first coat of the red guard, and now I'm gonna start painting it again. And I looked into the bucket. I should be able to do 3 coats with the 1 gallon bucket. I'm really happy about it because I watched a bunch of videos of people using it. A lot of people complain that it doesn't cover as much as they claim on the bucket, but honestly, I don't know how it's going to be after the second coat. The first coat didn't take that much of that paint, so hopefully we can do 3 coats. I came to the Campervan yesterday to check on the shower just to see if the red guard dried out, and the walls were dry, but everywhere in the corner it was still kind of wet and sticky, so I decided to wait another day. And I wanted to tell you one thing: if you're gonna be using that paint, you have to be aware of the smell. It's just terrible. 2 days later, everything kind of looks dry right now, but the smell is still here, so I'm probably gonna have to open all of the doors and all of the windows, turn on the fan, and let it just run through the whole day to kind of get rid of that smell. Hopefully when we're gonna put the finishing product on the shower, the smell's gonna go away, but just be aware of it, how smelly it is. It's like a really bad chemical smell. With the 1 gallon bucket, I got 3 coats on this shower, including the floor and the ceiling. And yesterday when I got here, it was still kind of wet in the corners, especially here, but right now everything's dry. It's dry over here, same over here. Let's check the ceiling. Yeah, everything is dry. It makes like a kind of plastic rubbery coating on the walls, so if you put this and you make sure that you get all of the corners and you secure all of the connections in your shower, this is not going to allow the water to leak and damage your wood construction or metal, whatever you have in your Campervan. So pretty cool product, but honestly it smells terrible. Just wanted to give you a little recommendation if you have some spots where you can't really use screws and you have to use some sort of adhesive. I found this glue to be the best one on the market. It's not sponsored or anything. I went through different brands and I've been testing them before I try to glue something. Like yesterday I was testing 2 different adhesives to see how this ABS plastic holds on to the wood boards, and honestly this liquid nail stuff is amazing. It dries out really fast, and as you can see I had to rip it out with a piece of the wood, where a different adhesive that I was using kind of just came off with no issues. It was attached, but with a little bit of force I could just peel it off. And I had few spots where I couldn't use nails or screws, and I found this one as a really good one. It's expensive. It's almost $12 at my local Home Depot, but it's some good stuff, honestly. Try it. Tell me what you think. This is, in my opinion, one of the best construction adhesives. It pretty much bonds to anything. So I kind of encountered a little problem with the red guard. Let me tell you what happened through the last few days. So in the previous shots you could see me painting the whole inside of the shower with the red guard, and right now maybe you can notice or not spots that are kind of in a different color, and that's because In those spots I had tape connecting the corners and everything to prevent leaking and kind of to make a nice clean surface. And unfortunately, that day when I was painting it, when I put the third coat of Red Guard, I went home and that night it dropped below freezing and the paint didn't dry in those corners. It froze and it started expanding, and when I came back a few days later, all of those corners, everywhere where I had the tape, that paint was just crumbling because it didn't dry, it didn't connect to the surface. It pretty much just froze and then expanded, and I had to pretty much replace everything here, every corner, every connection of the boards. I had to redo it again. So my next step is to put this laminate in the shower. I have everything cut to size. I have those little pieces over here, and I have 3 main big pieces right here. They have the fake granite finish. This laminate is also waterproof, so I think this is going to be a perfect solution for the shower. This is very lightweight. It's also flexible, so when you put it in your camper van, and you know the whole camper van is kind of constantly moving and working, the parts are constantly rubbing on each other, this should be a perfect solution to prevent leaking in the shower. So that's what I'm gonna do, but first I'm gonna warm up this space because the glue that I'm gonna be using for it works only on warm surfaces. So I'm gonna heat this up and we're gonna start fitting those panels and get them attached to the walls. Can you see this? The temperature dropped below freezing again, but I learned my lesson after last time and I left the heater on for a good couple hours after I was done building the shower, so everything should be okay. But I had a little accident yesterday with the laminate. When I was putting one of the walls, I misaligned it, and as soon as the glue touched the laminate, it was done. I couldn't realign it or do anything, so when I was pushing the laminate, it wasn't fitting right and it broke. It pissed me off, but luckily I had spare parts, spare pieces of the laminate, because I had to buy it in like big sheets, and I was able to cut out a piece just to fit that wall. And I had some extra pieces for the backsplash in the kitchen, which I originally didn't plan on doing with that material, but honestly after doing it I feel like it looks really nice and I honestly like it. But I'll show you what I've done yesterday. Despite the little accident I had with the laminate, I'll show you what I've done yesterday, because I've stayed here till like 8 p.m. It was dark, the lighting, you know, for the GoPro wasn't the greatest, so I was just quietly working here, and I think that the final look is really nice. I'll show you the kitchen, and please don't judge me on my caulk work because it was late. I have to kind of fix it in few spots, but besides that I really like how this looks. It's gonna have a little trim piece here on the bottom and a little trim piece here on the side to kind of hide the connection, and it's gonna look great. In my opinion right now, this looks amazing. It connects with everything in this camper, the wood ceiling, the countertops, the colors of the cabinets, the floor, even those colorful seats. I removed the bedding yesterday because I didn't want it to smell like glue, so I'm gonna put it back a little bit later today. But you can see the final effect of the shower. The only thing that I have left is the shower pan, but that's gonna be installed today, later in the evening. The lights inside of the shower and the shower curtain. I got everything ready. I'm really happy with how it came out, even with those little mishaps, you know. Nothing ever goes right the first time. I learned multiple times during this build and during the previous build that sometimes you might have something planned and you can visualize it in your head, how it's gonna go, how you're gonna do something, but accidents happen and you have to be ready. You have to stay calm and just be prepared for it, that stuff might go wrong, stuff might go sideways, you might need some extra parts, so be prepared for it. I'm super lucky that I had a perfect piece left over from the big sheets when I was cutting out the walls for the shower, so I'm really happy how it came out. It was a little bit stressful yesterday, you know, trying to put everything together, especially that glue has no tolerance for misaligning or accidents. As soon as you're gonna touch it together, you know, because you have to put glue on the laminate and you have to put it on the wall, as soon as you're gonna touch them together, it's done. You cannot pretty much peel it off. It's gonna break in pieces, how it did yesterday with that one wall when I misaligned it. So I think that's it for today's video. If you guys have any questions, please write them in the comments. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to my channel if you like what you see, and we're gonna test the shower on our first trip. So I'm gonna finish it today and just wait for the next video and we'll see how it works. So see you guys in the next one.